Und damit herzlich willkommen zu einer weiteren Runde von Fire Emblem Warriors Free Hopes. Wir befinden uns hier am Ende von Kapitel 4, 5, 6. Sucht euch uns aus. Jedenfalls ist Dorothea hier aufgetaucht. Wir haben die Strategie, sie erledigen zu können. Deswegen machen wir uns mal gleich auf den Weg dahin. Und dann nehmen wir die auseinander und dann ist es
Nato is but one step away.
Wo ist hier nicht irgendwo?
If we can just try to reason with Dorothea, though, we might be able to settle.
Flame.
I will give it my all.
Ach, du kannst gar nicht heilen. Naja.
Things peacefully.
I shall take the lead.
I had a feeling something like this might happen, so I prepared a technique of my own to guard against their magic.
The might of Adrestia is on our side. Yes, with our combined forces.
Alter, das war gerade ein bisschen viel auf gleichzeitig.
Messengers. We need to stop them before they call for backup.
Ich fliege.
Thank you. This will surely help.
Ja. Der wurde nimmt worden. Außer vielleicht im Jenseits. Sag ich doch.
I'll handle this. My turn.
Das geht jetzt um unsere Dorothea hier. Ich weiß, das ist nicht Dorothea, aber wir machen uns mal kurz ein bisschen Luft hier. Jetzt bist du dran. Ich habe keine Ahnung, was hier passiert. Ich drücke einfach wahllos Knöpfe. Leute, ein bisschen aufpassen.
I can keep fighting.
Dorothea, please. I don't want to see you die for nothing.
I can't say I want that either. All right. You win.
Wie einfach die sich aber auch überzeugen lassen, ne?
If His Majesty means to shelter those vile church rats, then I shall rebuke him to my final breath. Fling open the gates.
Renato, it's time to settle this.
Here goes. Yeah.
Auf ihn! Auch jetzt ein bisschen Heilung. Happy?
Here goes.
Heil uns mal.
Yeah. I owe you one. Thanks.
Dann kannst du die anderen auch alle durchheilen.
Here goes. Yeah. You got my back? I'm coming.
Der hat eine Lanze. Sollten das
I've
Paar
burned
wechseln.
far too many bridges to turn back now.
Allow me.
Swain.
Hear you loud and clear.
Geh mal
Come
dahin.
on, let's get marching.
Und du
Here
heilst
goes.
in der Zwischenzeit mal.
Yeah.
My thanks for your help.
Bis Sylvain angekommen ist, kann Harpy dann erstmal Ingrid heilen. Der fehlt ja auch ein bisschen was.
Forgive me.
Und dann kann ich sie weghalten.
Lost it all the same.
Thank you.
This is the brightest future I can give my people.
Thank you very much.
So, dann gehst du jetzt.
Here goes.
Aber kein.
Yeah.
Und das kannst du gleich nochmal machen, dann ist der nämlich voller.
Here goes. Yeah.
My very own guardian angel. Thanks.
Sehr gut. Und dann kannst du dich ja.
Hear you loud and clear. I'll make short work.
Let's begin. It's time to move.
Sorry for all the trouble.
Grant them no mercy.
Watch and learn. Let's take the stronghold.
Natürlich visierst du den an, der weiter weg ist, weil das doch so viel Sinn macht.
I will see Kristoff avenged, even at the cost of my own life.
Perfekt ausgerichtet. Wow. Power.
Forgive your fool of a father, Kristoff, for he is soon to join you.
Das haben wir erledigt. Haben wir gut gemacht, Leute.
The battle is over. A fine effort, everyone. Especially considering the conditions.
Haben wir toll gemacht. Wobei wir ein bisschen viel Schaden
Guess we
genommen.
did our job at least.
Well, well, doesn't someone sound disappointed? And what's with that look?
I don't know. We completed our mission and all, but it still feels like we lost somehow. Sure, we stopped Leonardo, and we put Geralt and his mercenaries to rout. But not before they dragged us through one of the toughest fights we've experienced. And most of all, I failed to take down the Ashen Demon. If that's not a loss, I don't know what is.
Wrong. You were hired to do a job, and you did it. And in the process, you've received a valuable reminder about the unique danger the Ashen Demon poses.
Naja, wo er recht
You're
hat, hat er
right.
recht.
I can't believe one fighter could turn the tide of an entire battle like that.
Precisely. They're surely going to continue standing in our way, so do try to dig a little deeper the next time you square off.
Yeah, you're probably right. Thanks for the chat.
By the by, have you seen our valiant leader? I wonder where he's scampered off to.
No Felix or the others in sight either. Maybe they're having a meeting or something.
Sounds like you should try to track them down then. Though, on second thought, it may not be any of your business.
Na, gib
I
ihm zu.
probably shouldn't be sticking my nose into their private matters. But I am pretty curious. Let's go.
Ja, wir haben ein bisschen Schaden bekommen. Aber alles in allem haben wir das doch sehr gut hingekriegt. Erstmal die ganzen Level-Ups hier einstreichen. Noch mehr? Na gut, ich meine, Flane hat die ganze Zeit auf Miklans aufgepasst. Wer nicht?
I won't let my...
Und noch ein Level-Up.
I'm getting
Got to give this a...
Ja, das ist ein Giftschwerter. Alter, wie viele noch? Oh, bitte, Stufenziegel. Und noch mehr Supports. Und wir haben nur 4 jetzt im Team. Sehr schön. Haben wir sie nicht verpasst.
You did well, Miklan. I will remember the deeds you've performed here today.
You know as well as I that I only did it for the money. Your money.
That's the man from before.
I don't mean to question you, but why exactly are you eavesdropping on them?
It looks like they're having an argument. Butting in now would just make things worse.
What are you playing at, Boar? This washed-up bandit doesn't deserve to look at our army, let alone be a commander in it.
It's a decision I made in collaboration with the Margrave. 2 years ago, after I ascended the throne, I ordered Gustav to capture him, made him swear his allegiance to the royal family, and gave him a unit of soldiers to command.
Spare me the details of how you did it. What I want to know is why.
My army was lacking leaders. We needed capable fighters to fill in the gaps. As for Miklans here, the Margrave himself has instructed him in all manner of military tactics. I've seen his prowess with my own 2 eyes. In the centuries since the time of King Lug, crests and relics have kept Fargus safe. We've come to depend on that power to protect us from outside attacks, and grown all too complacent in its wake. Naturally, we will take full advantage of our heroes' relics in the battles ahead with Adrestia. But we cannot protect our home with relics alone. If all who could wield them fell, so too would we. The blood of the heroes is thinner now than ever before. We need men like him among our ranks.
I don't doubt the truth of your words, but that's not the issue here. Do you really think it appropriate to trust a man barely removed from his life as a brigand with the responsibility of command?
Everyone's heard the stories of the elder Gautier brother, how he resorted to banditry and plunder. Do you not think our soldiers would object to being led by a man with such history?
Command, huh? It's got a nice ring to it. But you should know, I'm just a prisoner. My attendants, my aides, my best men, all stooges for the royal family, breathing down my neck every waking moment. All the sleeping moments, too.
No wise remarks, Sylvain? You're standing there mute, as if this has nothing to do with you.
I was one of the first His Majesty consulted with. There's nothing I could say that I haven't already. I'm sure you can't stand the sight of me, Miklan. But let's see if we can't get along, okay?
Anyway, now that we're all caught up, I'll await your next orders, Your Majesty, sir.
Let me guess. Any means necessary?
I won't defend it, though I do see use in such a man. What he did in his time as a bandit was monstrous, I admit that. And I deserve no small amount of judgment for giving him command in spite of it. But I can't help but wonder. Perhaps his life could have been dramatically different had he only possessed a crest. Same as the uncle I murdered.
I understand your reasoning, Your Majesty. Yet he's hurt so many people.
What's done is done. Stolen goods may be returned, but stolen lives cannot. If the man is unwilling to atone for his wrongdoings, then he will pay for it with his head. If he does wish to repent, however, then what better way to do so than by risking his life on behalf of our people?
Wo recht hat, hat recht.
If any among us still can't forgive him, By all means, take up your arms and enact vengeance.
I get what you're trying to do, but you still should have talked to us first. This isn't about who shoulders what blame. It's a matter of letting us know what you're thinking.
You're right, Felix. My apologies. Now then, we march on Aryan Road as planned. With House Rowe's military might crippled, seizing the fortress should be a somewhat simpler matter.
The Silver Maiden. Can we really take it?
You saw how many troops they've already lost. Just plain math will tell you there can't be that many of them left back at the fortress. At least I sure hope not.
And I am sure Houses Karen and Geraint would be willing to lend us a few squadrons in return for the aid we provided them.
Agreed. And their militaries are both formidable indeed. I'll have to factor their support into our strategies moving forward. And what of you, Ash? Will you be joining the fight at Aryan Road?
Yes, I will. Though I do appreciate the concern, Your Majesty.
As long as you're sure you can handle it. Do not hesitate to retreat if it becomes too much for you. House Rowe's forces aside, we now have the added threat of Geralt and his mercenary band to contend with. The very same mercenary band you had been looking for, is it not?
Yeah. One of them in particular, a warrior known as the Ashen Demon, felled my entire company back before I met you. Not sure I'm looking for revenge exactly, but I do want to surpass them, no matter what it takes.
I see. This is the first I'm hearing of it.
Sorry, I wasn't really trying to hide it or anything. Just never came up, I guess.
I believe I understand. Overcoming Geralt and his mercenaries is what drives you in life.
Yeah, you could say that. It's the closest thing to a goal I have, for sure.
In any case, those people cannot be taken lightly. I'd like to avoid crossing blades with them as much as we can. Though we'll likely encounter them sooner rather than later. Imperial forces are still encamped in the former Arendelle territory, after all.
Right. We'd better be ready for anything.
Ich frage mich, ob wir noch was von den Hirschen hören, nachdem wir den Dialog da hatten.
Azure Gleam. Conspiracy in the air. Having laid Lonato low, the kingdom's army proceeds south. Count Rowe, who had prior declared fealty to the Empire, surrenders, and Aryan Road falls back into kingdom hands. With its foothold in the west lost, the Empire amasses troops in the former Arendelle territory to the south, prompting the army of Fargus to strike before Adrestia can regain its footing.
It's nice Aryan Road fell with little more than a hand wave, but it's hardly comfortable knowing the enemy is still on our doorstep.
Comfortable or no, we must take what few chances we do have to rest. Battle will be upon us again before we know it.
Not to mention the fortress is still a target. I mean, who wouldn't want their very own impregnable stronghold?
Our spies report that the enemy plans to mount such an attack from Arendelle land.
Arendelle, huh? It's been 2 years since the territory came under the Emperor's control. The wind carries rumors that Edelgard has been keeping Lord Arendelle imprisoned in his home since then. If it's true, No. Were the enemy to strike and the fortress city to somehow fall, our path forward in this war would grow exceedingly perilous.
The West doesn't face the kind of constant threats we do, so there aren't as many strongholds here as in the North, right?
Basically. Though my uncle did say that started to change at least a tiny bit in the past couple of years.
In other words, the entire western region of the kingdom is likely to fall into enemy hands if we retreat from Aryan Road now.
Indeed. Which is exactly why we must take the offensive and restrain this Imperial snake before it can sink its fangs
Hat er
into
nicht
us.
gesagt.
Hey, it'll be nice to strike first for once. It feels like we've been on the back foot for a while now.
Right you are. And remaining on perpetual defense would only lead to more meaningless, preventable deaths.
Offense is the best defense, I always say. We'll crush anyone who has the gall to stand against us.
There you go, getting carried away again. Look at them, all stunned into speechlessness.
Your Majesty, I bear terrible news.
Calm yourself. What is it?
The convoy escorting Count Rowe to the capital has been attacked by an unknown assailant. They've sustained heavy losses, and it seems Count Rowe has gone missing amid the chaos.
I see. And these assailants, we know nothing about them?
Very little, Your Majesty. The survivors claim to have been attacked by numerous mages.
Klingt, als wären die Schattenschleicher das.
Mages? No.
That's wrong. Do you know who it is?
You saw the court mage Cornelia during our battle at Ferdia, yes? Well, she disappeared almost immediately after. It's likely she has been burrowed away in western Fargus ever since. Which leads me to wonder if this attack wasn't her handiwork somehow. It's merely a feeling, though. I'd like to look into it further, if possible. But something tells me the Imperial soldiers won't wait around patiently while we go off hunting for clues.
Perhaps you should send a separate unit to investigate, while we attend to the Empire.
Yes, that would be prudent for now. We cannot afford to lower our guard for even a moment.
Dieser Brief, ne? Dass sie ihn bis heute nicht gefixt haben. Ist echt ein Verbrechen.
Hey there.
Ach, was möchtest du denn, Felix? Es gibt jetzt eine taktische Forschungseinrichtung. Ich schätze, die hat der Keile auf die Beine gestellt. Um Kriege zu gewinnen, reicht es nicht, mit einem Schwert umgehen zu können. Hier und sieh dir die neue Einrichtung an, wenn du Zeit dafür findest. Können wir uns hier importen? Wir erforschen die neuesten und besten Taktiken, die jemals auf dem Schlachtfeld Anwendung gefunden haben. Wenn unsere Erkenntnisse euer Interesse geweckt haben, würde ich euch gerne behilflich sein. Was sagt ihr? Die Taktikakademie. In der Taktikakademie kannst du die Kampfkompetenzen deiner Einheiten verbessern. Durch das Erweitern dieser Einrichtung werden neue Möglichkeiten zur Verbesserung freigeschaltet. Einrichtungseffekte umfassen Freischaltung zusätzlicher Kriegeranzeigen, Freischaltung von Heilmittelplätzen, Freischaltung von Level-Up-Möglichkeiten für Signaturfertigkeiten.
My instruction comes at a high price.
Weiter wir erstmal ein bisschen. So, kommen wir in die zweite Kriegerleiste. Brauchen wir irgendwas dafür? Cool. Können das jetzt alle? Ach, es kostet Geld für alle. Na, wenn es nur Geld kostet, also wenn Geld haben wir genug. Wenn Geld das Problem ist. Felix kann nichts weiter haben. Ja, Dolphin können wir auch rein. Ich mag sie. Vielleicht verwenden wir sie noch mal. Jetzt kommt auch einer. Oh. Die zwei haben das Den unteren nicht hier, den hier.
Don't neglect your daily studies.
Die richtige Taktik ist für jeden Sieg entscheidend. Daran sollte ich während meiner Vorbereitung denken. Ein neues Unterstützungsgespräch ist verfügbar. Ja, nice. Können wir.
Oh, it's so late. I didn't mean to take this much of a detour.
Just getting back?
Hey, Dudu. Hope I didn't worry you.
You didn't. You were in town, yes?
I went to pick up some supplies, but on the way back I saw these flowers blooming, and I just couldn't help but pick some.
Ah, yarrows.
They're used as an ingredient in healing salves, although you can also slap the leaves on your wounds and get mostly the same effect.
Fun Fact, wenn ihr mal Schafgarbe in der Natur findet und ihr irgendwie irgendeinen Brennnessel gefasst habt vorher oder Mückenstiche habt oder sonst irgendwas, die Blätter nehmen, zerkauen und drauf packen. Schmeckt zwar scheußlich, könnt ihr auch dann ausspucken, aber hilft echt gut. The more you know.
Oh, and I plan on soaking them in alcohol. It'll produce a liquid that can be used for a wonderful ointment. Though I suppose it would be faster to just use healing magic.
You seem well informed on the subject.
Renato knew all about it. So I picked up a few things from him.
Lord Lenato had an interest in plants?
Oh, sure. He kept tons of botanical encyclopedias and books like that in his room. He loved flowers. He even kept a small herb garden at Castle Gaspar. Hey, you like gardening too, right? I mean, you were always watering the flowers in the greenhouse back at Garreg-Mach.
I suppose I do, though I know little of the medicinal properties.
Yeah, I guess knowing how to grow plants is different from knowing how to use them.
Even so, the greenhouse was a treasure to me.
You're right about that. I found flowers there I'd never even seen in Castle Gaspar's garden.
I would like very much to visit this garden of yours one day.
We should go! Of course, a lot has happened since I last saw it, but my younger siblings should still be looking after it.
I look forward to it. Though, how did Lord Lenato come to know so much about medicinal herbs?
He used to serve Grand Duke Rufus, so... maybe he studied them while he was in the capital.
Perhaps.
Sorry, I'm just sitting here chatting away when I should be off making myself useful.
Of course. Medicinal herbs.
Komisch, hier geht der B-Support schon so viel. Können nicht B-Supporten. Die haben schon fast den A-Supporten, können nicht. Naja. Immerhin können die schon ihren B-Support haben.
That was quite the sigh. What's the matter, Sylvain?
Oh, nothing. Well, except there's a guy in my unit who keeps acting up, and I'm not sure what to do.
You don't say.
I don't think I like the face you're making.
Let me ask, just to be sure. Is this mysterious troublemaker in fact you?
Hey, I've changed. I swear I have. But no, it's not me. It's one of my knights. He keeps walking around breaking stuff and getting into fights, and I'm spending all my time apologizing for it.
So you finally understand how I felt. You know, I never thought this day would come. You really have changed, Sylvain. Perhaps this warrants a celebration.
Then you better bring your purse because I'm ordering 2 of everything. Seriously, Ingrid, you don't have to sound that impressed. With school suspended and the war raging, we've all had to adapt to changing circumstances. Felix and Dimitri both succeeded their fathers, and are now burning the candle at both ends, right? I can't go around causing trouble with unending scandals when I'm supposed to be the mature one of the bunch.
It is wonderful to see you turn a new leaf.
I told you to stop sounding so impressed. Ugh, I suppose I had this coming.
I am sorry, Sylvain. I was only teasing. Think of it as payback for everything you put me through. Still, not having to clean up after you has been a real weight lifted from my shoulders.
Yeah, I was a handful in my wild days, but looking back, I really appreciate everything you did for me.
In that case, you should make the change permanent so you never cause trouble for anyone again. Though, honestly, I do not really know what to do with myself now that I am not spending all my time apologizing for you. Frankly, I was convinced you were useless without me.
Sorry. Again.
Please, no. You gave me experience I'd never have gotten otherwise. If I were truly miserable, I would have abandoned you to the wolves long ago. Besides, it wasn't all bad. You were the one who finally coaxed me from my room after Glenn's death, remember?
Okay, I'm confused. Do you want me to go back to being a huge flirt, or...?
Don't be ridiculous.
Figured.
As you said, we have all had to adapt to changing circumstances, which means we cannot cling to the past forever. You and I are no exception. It is merely a touch sad to come to the realization.
So, das waren Spots. Wen hat die denn? Ja, immerhin mit Flame. Das könnte ganz interessant werden. Ein Arthur-Charakter. Wen hat Flame denn? Auch gar nicht so viel, ne? So halt, die Leute bleiben halt wirklich mehr so untereinander. Das sind halt mehr so die Häuser für sich, die Supports haben. Ich glaube, die haben immer so einen Support, oder nicht mal einen Support. Sie hat niemanden aus dem von den blauen Löwen, mit denen sie reden kann. Krass. So, die Häuser sind wirklich krass für sich. So halt, Petra hat ja wenigstens noch den Dude. Hat sie wirklich keinen? Nö. Krass. Na gut, wir machen an der Stelle jetzt erstmal eine Pause. Beim nächsten Mal geht's dann ins nächste Kapitel, beziehungsweise wir arbeiten uns davor und gucken, was da alles Schönes auf uns zukommt. Ich hoffe, ihr seid beim nächsten Mal auch wieder mit dabei. Ich wünsche euch noch einen schönen Tag. Bleibt gesund. Und bis zum nächsten Mal verabschiede ich mich für mal. Mit einem Ciao.